Good evening, wherever you are. If you are tuning in, I have just a few bites for you on this late moonlight stream, and I'll be right back with more fun. All right, this is quite late in the world of Black Spring with Autumn, but I want to thank you so much for tuning in. If you are, or if you're considering tuning in on this segment, I have a couple of lines to go over with you that I didn't quite get to earlier today, but no less. If you're around, great, fantastic. We'll make a meal out of it if you're around. So what I'm actually going to do is astonishing enough, I'm going to put the pendulum out there for anybody that wants to chime in on this late hour. You're absolutely welcome to chime in. So I'm going to put it out there for you. But I'm going to, like I said, we'll make a meal out of this. I'm here. I'm going to put the time in, and so I got a few things that I want to go over. So I'm going to be putting that link out there for you. So I hope you guys are doing well out there. And I don't know, who knows, we might even get to a rant or something before the end of this stream, but no less. I want to thank you guys so much for tuning in. So we'll be putting the pendulum out for you. Give me just a quick second here. Hope you guys are doing well. It is a Saturday, and we are in the month of May. And believe it or not, we are getting to the halfway point of 2022. It's a little bit stunning, right? I don't know. Maybe it's not stunning to you. Maybe all is right with the world. You, if not, that's okay. But I'm going to be putting the pendulum out here for you if you care to chime in on this late stream. So we do what we can around here. Hope you're doing well out there. Thanks so much for tuning in. And for those of you that are considering tuning in, so get this one going for you. So, right, we do have a pendulum here. And with that said, I'm going to tell you what I'm on about. You might gather a little bit from the indication of the actual graphic that I have right here before you. So the graphic that you have here before you, of course, it looks like electric cars. And I want to share something very specific on the electric cars. I'm going to be maybe even chiming in. It's going to come from the World Economic Forum, of course, because, Herr Schwab has been co-signing with the UN on actually accelerating the Agenda 2030. I'm not going to expound a whole lot on that. I've been following that for quite some time. However, we won't get into that one specifically on this stream, but we may have something from Jessica Schwab that I ran into earlier this week. May have something from that, but of course, she's a part of the World Economic Forum as well. And we'll have more on that. And then I have another piece we're going to talk about just a little bit in terms of the perfect storm hitting U.S. crop planting amid talks of shortages. And I think we also have some action, of course, coming out of the Biden administration, or the Biden regime rather, on the subsidies of farmers. But that kind of makes me think about the USMCA. Hi, TMK Media. How are you? Thanks so much for tuning in. And Mad Militant, you guys are in. It's pretty late. I appreciate you guys for coming in on this hour. But first, I guess what we're going to do is I want to start with this, the notion on the actual vehicles right now, because I'm sure you guys that we've talked about pain at the pump here, and I welcome you to do that regularly. So anytime you want, if you have a pain at the pump story, the pendulum is there for you. So we're going to go with that first, and then we'll get into the political red and blue. As I told you, it makes purple. It still makes purple even beyond elementary school. You just look around. Here we are. right. So thank you so much once again for tuning in. I really appreciate it. And thank you to Mad Militant and TMK Media for coming in on such a late hour and for moonlighting around here with us. So let's go ahead and get started. So of course we've heard from our leaders, we hear from the scientists, we've been hearing for decades. I mean, depending on which generation you're hailing from at this time, about flying cars, electric cars, how we need to reduce this carbon footprint. And yet you see, the opposite of that from the elite that I call them. You see them taking private planes and environmental czars running over to, Switzerland, and you don't quite see them practicing what they preach. Even was it Greta Thunberg, even on her tour a couple of years ago, she managed to jet set her way. And, she didn't quite pan out to be the Joan of Arc. I think that she was, purporting to be, but, nevertheless, it's all for the same, the same agenda. Okay. So let's go there. Let's have a look at, I do have something from yours truly over at the World Economic Forum. I'm going to show you how the South Pacific, or how others are already they're pumping out these cars right now, and you'll have an idea of, you'll see where you think we rank in the scheme of those things. How long do you think it'll take to keep something like this up with the amount of hustle and bustle? Do you think this is actually sustainable? I don't know. Like I said, the pendulum's out there. I really appreciate it. So we're going to go. Let me go ahead and share the screen with you guys. Thank you so much for tuning in. I really appreciate it. So I'm going to give you full screen here, and let me know if for any reason you are not getting the audio, because I want you to get this full screen here, and I want you to ride with me on this. Okay. Well, no pun intended. Ride with me on this. Okay. So according to this is coming out of the World Economic Forum. Okay. According to this is the China's cheapest electric car costs just over, you guessed it, not one, not two, not three, not four, but $5,000. Okay, I guess this is US dollars. I'm not sure what else, I'm not sure the currency there. Yeah, not right now. My brain is not doing, it's not doing mental currency Olympics right now, but I'm not quite sure what, if this is their dollar, this is US dollar. So let's go ahead and play this. So of course, shout out to Uncool Paranoia. We were talking about this earlier today. I talked about the infographics. Mad Militant says always moonlighting. They tend to use the same kinds of infographics, like the UN, the We Forum. These people are sharing a brain, or they're sharing the same producers, whatever. It's always some little, hokey little song or dance or tune in the background, jingle in the background. So just check out these stats. Just check out the clips here. So here we are. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. Okay. All right, so I'm not quite done with this particular with some commentary on this particular car. I would like to go through a couple of points that they actually made on this particular vehicle. I'm going to talk about it just a little bit. Um, but I know that they mentioned it was a Japanese professor. Of course, you got all of these scientists and everybody chiming in on the, I guess, the manufacturing of these vehicles and how they're saving lives and, all of this, your usual suspects. Okay. So just one more time. I'm probably going to talk a little bit in between those, if that's okay with you guys. If not, you'll have a strong stomach and you'll survive. So we'll go right one more time, but I am going to cut in on these, just out a couple of things. It's like what we all have to do. This is what's best for you, right? This is what's best for the environment. Okay, so we'll go here. So just okay, so just want to come here for a second. So Wulling's Mini EV is the country's best selling electric car. Now, I don't have any correspondence in the South Pacific right now. I don't, and I haven't been there in at least I haven't been in the South Pacific in at least 3 years now. So I cannot attest to any of this, that this is happening or at what volume of, vehicles. I did talk about once at one point, they were talking about they were going to use 3M to print, to produce vehicles, which even in that video, they were talking about how they still couldn't keep pace with the amount of production that's going on, that man is doing right now. Even the 3M printing cannot keep up with the amount of production that's done by man right now. So let's continue. Hi, Reasonability. How are you? Thanks so much for tuning in. We're just chopping it up. Hi, Joy Chit Chat. We're just chopping it up on some technology here. So zoom this in again for you guys. I might cut in. I'll probably cut in again. So, is anybody out here from the South Pacific right now? Japan, anywhere, Hong Kong. Yeah. So let's continue. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. Okay, so this was another point. It says also, unlike other electric vehicles, it doesn't recharge when it breaks. Okay, so to me, when I think about that kind of a commentary there, that kind of a comparison, I'm thinking about the Prius. I don't know if you guys are familiar with the Prius or have driven one. I personally don't care for the cars that were switching over, the hybrids, so to speak. They would go from the eco mode back to, like, the gas, because to me, it affects the car's performance. If you need to get out of harm's way, I think it would just take too long for the car to, the hybrid to, to process. Look, I need you to get off of this gas, get out of this eco mode right now. I need to do something. I need to move fast. I need to get over these tracks. Like, that's just an example that I'm making. I need to get over these railroad tracks right now. I don't have time to wait for you to switch from eco mode to, hit the pedal on there. But this was the Prius that I'm referring to. I think I drove a Prius probably over 10 years ago. It's not me owning it, but a significant other had the actual Prius, but I did not enjoy sitting in traffic and the thing kind of shifting down for it to shift down into that, like sitting at a traffic light. Okay. We don't get to plan. We don't get to decide the minute, the moment, the time, or the hour when something, happens, when an accident happens, or we're in the way of an accident. But to me, it just seemed like it was quite delayed. Hi, the official urban therapist. Thank you so much for coming in. I appreciate it. And Reasonability says, I drive a hybrid pretty quick. So yeah, I didn't enjoy that particular experience because at that time, that technology was just not, I wasn't impressed with it. I thought it was more of a safety even some of the vehicles now, like if you get into one of these, I think there's a luxury vehicle, or it's a luxury vehicle. I think there's even like a Mercedes that goes into like it's a something 30 Mercedes that actually switches over to something like that. And it was really quite annoying, you know. So let me get back to this video here. So you know, this is the push for the electric car. It's $5,000. Okay, their parts are less expensive, and you know, Japanese professors are co-signing this car. Wuling. I'm not. Are you guys familiar with the Wuling manufacturer? But that's who's getting the credit here. So let's bump back just a hair, a frame or two here. Let's do 2 frames. Okay, here we go. So right here it says he discovered that car maker Wuling uses off-the-shelf components, which I don't know what the hell that means. Okay, I don't know. What is he talking about? What are the off-shelf components, including those found in home appliances? Okay, that's still kind of broad to me, but okay, we'll go with that. Okay, so this is China's electric vehicle market is accelerating fast. So I'm going to keep going here. Let me read a comment here from Reasonability. It says most vehicles have a start-stop mode. The engine turns off at a stop and then starts up again. It's a dumb feature. Wears out your starter and also is a hazard. I concur. That's what I'm just saying. Like, my gosh, you know, this is not. I do not want this thing shutting off right now. You know, in LA traffic or LA stoplight, or you know, some madness happens, and then you got to wait for all this technology to catch up or to get you out of the harm's way. All right, I'll continue. Whoa, 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 whoa. That was a big piece. The government has mandated. Here we go. Let's bump it back here. It says the government has mandated that by, you guessed it, everybody, what's that big four-digit number, 2030. 40% of new car sales must be EVs. That's the government. Your government says, your Chinese government says it's got to be that. I think, what is it, California, was it Newsom came up with a similar bill? I don't know what the bill is. I get lost in the bills around there. I get lost in the bills around there. So you got the same kind of agenda coming out of, you know, California, then, which, you know, you got to be off the gas. You got to be off the juice by 2030. Okay. So let me finish this one up and then we'll move on to something else. Okay. Appreciate you guys so much for coming. Positively Penny is here. I see 6 people in the chat. I mean, 6 people that have checked in, or 5 people and 1 voyeur. I don't know. Whatever it is, you know, it's been done before. So I thank you. We'll keep going here. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. Okay, so that comes directly from your World Economic Forum. Okay, and so you know that's what they're on about, and that's the agenda, right? To get you off the gas, right? Okay, so that's what we have there. I just want to be able to show you that, and then from there we're going to move on to something else. I want to move on to a little bit on the, for lack of a better word, on the supply, dare I say, supply chains. For instance, the Fence Post has Biden proposes $500 million in farm subsidies to increase production. Now, I want to get into this a little bit, but I'm just starting to wonder, whatever happened to the USMCA? Does anybody Does anybody remember that piece of that huge? It's probably 20 something hundred pages long. It's typical, right? It's kind of standard length of things that nobody reads until it's all passed. I don't know where. I don't hear anything about that document. I don't. And I don't know what it says about, these kinds of measures or, well, let's get into this first. We might revisit that. But to me, it just seems like we've had a preview for so much of this that we're going to be, even with that. To me, that agreement and what's going on right now with the impending crisis in food and starvation, and it just seems like that it's like we got all these mini versions of like a Paris Accord. Like we've got a food Paris Accord for food right now. Like it just seems like everything's just kind of rolling into being folded into the same mix here. So I'm going to get to that one really quick. I want to thank you guys so much for coming in. It is your Sunday. It's not Saturday anymore. It's Sunday. So thank you guys so much for coming in. So we're going to go ahead and get to that one. Yeah, we've got lots of things happening. So lots of distractions too. I haven't gotten into the distractions, all these Hollywood distractions. It's just total bewitched. Okay. The bewitchery is thick for some people. They just can't get off of it. Okay. So I'm going to zoom in on this. Let me know if you cannot see or if you, yeah. And Positively Penny is here. Thank you so much for coming in. All right, so zoomed in. All right, we have the Biden proposes $500 million in farm subsidies to increase production, okay? According to this is from the Hagstrom report. President Biden on Thursday, April 28th, asked Congress to provide $500 million for farm subsidies to increase U.S. production of crops, particularly wheat and soybeans, to address the world's expected loss of production from Ukraine due to the invasion and continuing war provoked by Russian President Vladimir Putin. In remarks at the White House on his the number $33 billion request, Biden said, quote, Ukraine was one of the world's largest agriculture producers. It typically grows 10% of all the wheat that's shipped around the world, end quote. Quote, Putin has asserted sanctions are blocking food from Ukraine and Russia getting on the market. The sanctions we've imposed on Russia. Simply not true, end quote. Biden said. That's kind of awkwardly written there, but I'll keep going here. Quote, Putin's war, not sanctions, are impacting the harvest of food and disrupting the movement of that food by land and sea to nations around the globe that need it. Quote, this funding is going to help ease rising food prices at home as well and abroad caused by Russia's war in Ukraine. Quote, it's going to help support American farmers produce more crops like wheat and oilseed, which is good for rural America, good for the American consumer, and good for the world, end quote. In a letter to House Speaker Nancy Pelosi, Democrat of California, Biden wrote, quote, additional food security and humanitarian assistance will provide wheat and other commodities to people in need, build countries' resilience to global food supply and price shocks, and provide life-saving aid to people displaced by or otherwise impacted by Russia's war in Ukraine, end quote. Biden added that the request, quote, includes funding to support the production of United States food crops that are experiencing a global shortage due to the war in Ukraine. For example, wheat and soybeans, helping to address rising food prices here at home and around the world, end quote. A White House fact sheet said, quote, an additional $500 million domestic food production assistance will support the production of U.S. food crops that are experiencing a global shortage due to the war in Ukraine, for example, wheat and soybeans. Through higher loan rates and crop insurance incentives, the request provides greater access to credit and lowers risk for farmers growing these food commodities while lowering costs for American consumers, end quote. The Food and Environment Reporting Network said in a report, quote, some $400 million would be spent on higher loan rates for food crops such as wheat, rice, pulses, and oil crops, including soybean, canola, and sunflowers. Farmers would be encouraged to grow more wheat by double cropping it with soybeans via a crop insurance incentive, end quote. Fern added that the Agriculture Department, quote, estimated that wheat growers could harvest enough wheat next year to make up for as much as 50% of Ukraine's wheat exports, end quote. Ukraine exported an average of 19 million tons annually in the past two marketing years. Half of that volume, 9.5 million tons, or nearly 350 million bushels, would be equal to 18% of the USDA's projected 1.94 billion bushel crop this year. There are 36.7 bushels of wheat in a ton, end quote. Under the White House proposal, loan rates for food crops would be increased for 2 years. The wheat loan rate would rise by 63%, oilseeds by 40%, and rice and pulses by 21%. The loans would run for 12 months. At present, repayment is usually due in 9 months. To encourage more double crop wheat, the administration proposes a $10 an acre incentive on crop insurance premiums for soybeans that are planted after wheat. Reaction to the proposal was muted. Joe Glauber, former USDA chief economist, now with the International Foods Policy Research Institute, told Fern that sky-high commodity prices already give farmers incentives to plant more crops. Fern said Glauber was skeptical of the near-term impact of the White House proposal. The wheat incentive was aimed at the 2023 crop, not this year's, he said. Quote, it's totally baffling to me, end quote, said Glauber. The wheat incentive was convoluted, he said, because it is tied to crop insurance coverage of soybean crop that would be planted after winter. Wheat is harvested in late spring. The National Association of Wheat Growers told Fern it would work with Congress to refine the administration proposal for more double-cropped wheat. Quote, we would like to see wheat production encouraged throughout the nation and incentivize both spring and winter wheat growers, end quote, said Chandler Gould, the NAWG chief executive. A spokesperson for the American Soybean Association said, quote, we look forward to hearing more details. ASA appreciates the administration considering a role for agriculture and working with Congress on next steps, end quote. Staff for the Senate Agriculture Committee told DTN Progressive Farmer at a Senate Agriculture Committee field hearing in Michigan today on the next farm bill that they were briefed on some of the details of the package on Thursday, but they had not seen specifics of the request from the Biden administration. DTN Progressive Farmer also noted that the World Bank has projected commodity prices are expected to remain high for several years. The World Bank report said, quote, for most commodities, prices are expected to be significantly higher in 2022 than in 2021 and to remain high in the medium term. All right, guys, I'm not sure what you think about that or where you are in the country and what do the crops look like where you are. Let's see. I have a few people here in the stream. Positively Penny, Mad Militant, Official Urbanist Theorist, Happy Mother's Day, ladies. And Mad Militant salutes that as well. So I find it, I just find that all of this money that's being spent, and then they just keep coming up with, it's all of a sudden, the United States has the responsibility to world hunger, but we're not doing anything to really address things that are going on, or directly going on here right now. I find that to be inconvenient or convenient. You know, we just keep shipping things off and sending things away, and basically, we're just pretty much just last on the list. We're just ignoring, and everywhere you look, if you go Airbnb, they want you to give money to Ukraine, and it's everywhere you go. Oh, people are taking up donations just randomly, just all over the place. People are taking up money. or asking for donations. But it brought me back to the USMCA because it's just like, to me, it's like another. I don't think that we're. I think that it's being treated more like this. This kind of a thing to me is being treated more like the Paris Agreement. Like, so not only are we going to foot the bill, we're going to subsidize everything to be subsidized on our backs, and not to mention that our money, our we're floundering. We're kind of floundering in terms of the value of our dollar. But I see it as we're going to take on everybody's burdens, and in the name of humanity, right? That's what we're doing. But I did the USMCA. I was really, when that came out, I was like, okay, here we go again. Everybody's rooting for the person that was in the White House at the time, but nobody. Did anybody even bother to read the USMCA? I just kept asking that question, and I just don't see where anybody actually read it. But to me, there was it was a Trojan horse to me, because there were all kinds of protections in there for the same kinds of things that are happening already. This administration it's just like they're just kind of finishing off it's like they pass the torch, and it just keeps going. It keeps benefiting other people that are coming into the country, no matter what their status is. They're going to benefit from all of these bills that they keep passing. And there's all kinds of hidden language in there. And it's just nobody read it. Nobody's reading any of this. So yeah, but Congress is, to me, I don't know. I think they're the original welfare kings and queens. I think that they are, because they just sit on their hands, and they give you the kabuki theater, and they bust people to different parts of the country, or they give you a sound bite here. They just do whatever they can to keep you in the matrix, but nobody's actually doing anything. It's the regular dog and pony show that's going on, and yeah, we're just spinning out of control. Prices are up. They're sitting around laughing. So I don't know. I don't know. Are you guys comfortable with that? Are you guys good with all of this? Just saying, and just FYI, there is a pendulum out there somewhere. I put it out earlier. I can put it out again. I don't mind racking it up with you guys a little bit on this stream, but I'm just saying, like, I don't know. When was the last time you guys went into the grocery store? I mean, did you try to buy fresh? Did you try to buy fresh food, or did you buy frozen food? I mean, how is any of this affecting you? Do you think this is manufactured? Do you think this is real? Do you think we're overreacting, for those of us that are paying attention? Yeah, it's I don't know. Sometimes, like I said, the bewitchery is real. It's very real, but I guess it's just where we are. Let me just see. I have some new people. Casey Q Obask. Thanks so much for coming in. I appreciate it. And Uncool Paranoia is here. Uncool's here. Thank you so much for coming in, Uncool. I really appreciate it. So I'm just a little bit, a little rambly right now, because I'm seeing all these bills are coming down, and we got to save this country and save this person's food supply, and never mind ours. Y'all just get your butt back out there, back to work. Just get back out there. And Uncool says the bewitchery is super real. Yeah, I mean, seriously. Mad Militant says, yeah, it is a setup. I think it varies depending on where you stay. Yeah, well, I mean, I don't know. I just think that meat is going to be a luxury pretty soon. And you're either going to be eating cell-based fish, whatever that means, or you're going to be eating cell-based meat, or you're going to be eating something. I mean, a lot of people, when I was growing up, older people used to say, oh, food doesn't quite taste the same as it did when I was growing up. And I see what they mean now, because I say the same thing now. Like, things are not, the nutrients is just not there. It's watered down even more. So I can see where that comes from. I don't have to be at the the beginning stages or the twilight of my life to realize that, things are a little bit off, and it's for a reason. I think it's some may say it's by design. Maybe so. Maybe. It's been going on for a while. So is it positively Penny says, I was at the grocery pharmacy today. The shelves are lean, the prices are high. Ooh, I like that. I like the way you spin those words, lean and high. Very nice. Thank you so much, positively Penny. She also goes on to say random things are empty, certain baby formulas, some diabetic supplies like test strips. Yeah, I mean, there you go. It's like, I mean, I actually took a picture of some of the prices that were, at the meat counter, say, but it's not even like beef. I'm not doing beef, but just chicken and fish. Same kinds of a thing. Uncool says, I agree. Meat will be a thing of the past for the normal folks. I think that's why the push for veganism is so prevalent. Well, earlier this year, what were they doing? The vegan nuggets at KFC. The chicken nuggets at KFC were in a green box. Okay, I don't know. I would not try those nuggets. I would not. You can't just put sauce on anything and say, here you go. You know, you just can't. But yeah, those were the plant-based chicken nuggets. I think they were some kind of plant-based chicken nuggets out of KFC. And I just no, they're in a green box for one. In a green box. Mad Militant says, I can only find crinkle cut fries for the last 3 months. But even the crinkle cut fries, they're pretty shellacked, right? They're pretty and when I say shellacked, I mean there's an aftertaste on these potatoes because I think they've been shellacked with something, a preservative. So the potato proper is not, there's not a lot of potato proper in there, okay? It's so shellacked and so frozen and broken down by the time you get it, the nutrients, you're not going to get, like, it's not like a regular potato, you guys, if you guys have ever made your own homemade fries, you can't beat a homemade fry, whether you peeled it, cut it, diced it, whatever. Those are the best fries on the planet. Okay, let's see. Cool says, I did a video on the KFC fake meat propaganda. Oh, wow. Well, thank you so much. I'm going to have to come and find that video that you did, because I just said celebrity kids were trying to advertise for these plant-based chicken nuggets from KFC. And I'm just thinking, seriously, this is what you do. You go out here and encourage people to eat mystery meats. But yeah, but some people just want to they want to go along to get along. And that's what they're going to do. Let's see. Positive says, I luckily was able to stock up on some meat at Fort Benjamin Commissary. The prices were tolerable. Everyone can't shop there. It's quite a contrast in comparison to, say, Kroger. Wow. I don't know. Is there anybody out there that's got their 40 acres and growing things? I don't know. I'm just saying. Just FYI, one more time, the pendulum is out there. So far, we've had a look at the going EV vehicle in the South Pacific and between China and Japan. It's under it's $5,000 is what they're saying that this new electric car is running. So that's where we kind of started on this stream. So we're going to go to another liner today. We're going to talk Ebola. Okay, man, we're just breaking out, right? Can we have enough breakouts? We're breaking out. We're breaking the dam out. Hi, Derek C. Williams. He's here. Derek C. Williams says, relax mode. Late to the party. Thank you for coming in, Derek. So where we're going to go, we're going to hop over to CNN right now. Can you CNN? You got a strong stomach. Okay. I know you do. All right. So we're going to go over to CNN right now and see what's shaking. All right. What shakes loose in CNN? Okay, I'm going to give you full scale on this one. All right. So here, shout out to Derek C. Williams. If Derek C. Williams has some great videos out. I've just seen one of them. Please get over there and see what he's all about. Also, Uncool Paranoia. Get over there. I mean, great content creators in here. I have mixed it up with them all today on some level. So just get on over and see what's going on. You will not be disappointed. You will be up to date. Okay, so what we have here is good old CNN. Okay, the third case of Ebola detected in northwestern DRC. Who says? There you go. That good old who. All right, according to this, let's see, the graphic here shows a healthcare worker inoculates a man for Ebola suspicion to take precautions against the disease in Butembo, Democratic Republic of the Congo. All right, so that's a throwback there because that's July 27th of 2019. According to this, health authorities in the Democratic Republic of Congo, DRC, have identified a third case of Ebola in the city of Bandaka. The World Health Organization said Thursday the patient is a 48-year-old man deemed a, quote, high risk, end quote, contact of the first Ebola patient identified in the DRC's latest outbreak, who died on April 21st, according to an official Twitter post from the WHO Africa region. Quote, responders have identified 444 contacts and continue to monitor their health, end quote, it said. DRC authorities declared a new outbreak in the country's northwestern Equateur province on April 22nd. A second victim of the virus died on April 25th after experiencing symptoms for more than a week, the WHO said last week. The victim, a 25-year-old woman, was the first casualty's sister-in-law. The first patient began experiencing symptoms on April 5th at a local health facility before being admitted to an Ebola treatment center on April 21st for intensive care, the WHO stated. He died later that day, the organization confirmed. Mock donations have since commenced in Badaka, with 281 people mocktailed so far, according to the WHO's last published figures on inoculation. Many residents of Bandaka have taken an Ebola mocktail, according to the WHO Regional Director for Africa, Dr. Mashdiso Moeti. However, people who were mocktailed 2 years ago when the DRC experienced an outbreak of the virus will be re-mocktailed, Moeti added. The DRC has huge supplies of the Ebola mocktail, the WHO assured, adding that the country's health authorities are experienced in containing the disease than anywhere else in the world. Investigations to determine the source of the current outbreak remain ongoing, the WHO said. The DRC has experienced 13 outbreaks of Ebola in total, including one that started in 2018 and claimed nearly 2,300 victims, according to WHO. The previous outbreaks in Equateur province were in 2020, and 130 cases were reported, and in 2018, when 54 cases were recorded, the WHO said. Okay, I got to tell you, what was it? I can't. Since that General Adhanom, anything that comes out of the WHO to me is, you gotta, it has to be checked. Okay, I'm just saying. Let's see, who do we have here? Once again, there is a pendulum out there. So if you want to talk, if you want to talk about something that's not even related to this, you can do that. The pendulum is out there. I appreciate you guys so much. Let's see. Derek C. Williams. See, Positively Penny says, we've been having a garden that lasts a few years. My daughter-in-law and I have been canning our crops for the last 3 years. Learning in progress, lol. Well, there you go. You're getting it in. Okay. Mad Militant says small load going up in a few. So Mad Militant, I really enjoyed your stream the other day, and I really appreciated, because I sometimes, I'm a little bit behind sometimes, but to have somebody else present it and me be able to support another channel is pretty golden to me these days. So thank you for the work that you're doing over there, Mad Militant. So you guys check out Mad Militant. and I will do my best to share these things as they come up. Swing! Who do we have here? It's Uncool Paranoia. Uncool, how are you doing at this hour?
What's up, darling? I'm good. How are you?
I'm hanging around, Uncool. That's what I'm doing.
Hey, what time zone are you in? Because I literally just woke up. Like, oh look, Autumn's live.
Hey, I am on the East Coast with the most right now, so I'm up. So it's 12:47 over here on the EST, and
Okay, okay.
yeah, so I was working on something and I wasn't quite ready to shut down. So I said, you know what, things are going on. Let me go and see if the people want to talk, or at least hear me talk, ramble about stuff.
For sure. Yeah, it's almost 1 a.m. here at 12:47. So I was just scrolling and saw you were on. So it's awesome. It's awesome. It's I just want to touch on that Ebola thing. It's funny you got an article about it because I feel like that. Well, it could be a number of things. If it could be either the bird flu. I don't want to get the channel flag. So it could either be the bird flu or the Ebola because because of the bleeding and all of the drugs they got everybody on.
Oh my
Especially,
gosh.
yeah, I think we discussed this earlier with the
Yeah.
hydroxychloroquine,
Oh my
the
god.
ivermectin. I feel like the ivermectin thing was to get people taking it to thin their blood. And then you got all the frequency technology, the fifth generation stuff. I don't want to flag the channel, but that could have people bleeding from every orifice, and then they can just come on the news and say, "Hey, it's it's Ebola outbreak." So, you know,
God. Oh my gosh. Oh my.
so
You know what? I really you always knock it out of the park.
yeah,
You do.
it's so it's so easy to see what they're planning because it's like after you're just in this thing so long, it's just like all the domino pieces just fall into place every time. Like it never fails. They just can't help themselves. They use the same methods. The Bible said there's nothing new under the sun. Absolutely. I'm really, the older I get, the more I'm starting to understand that, even with their propaganda and their stories, it's just all the same.
Right, right. But and it's to your point, we were talking about earlier, just about like everything's bad, and we're just filthy human beings. We're just contaminated. We're just infested. Does it seem like we're just spiraling into every human condition that I'm just saying, it just seems like we just everything is every campaign, every illness, every foreboding disease is coming back to get us right now in the wake of, in you know what I mean.
Right. It's like the great resurrection of everything. And they'll literally say that too with allegedly certain ice caps melting. There's, viruses in there that are like thousands of years old. And what are we going to do about it? And, just, a little something to be afraid of all the time. Everywhere you look, there's just something that's been around that they're going to resurrect to be afraid of because, fear is an awesome control tool.
Well, it is. And then my other question is, have you done any research on this thing with the chickens and the turkeys? I haven't seen that. That like the destruction of them because of the heebie jeebie.
Yeah.
I haven't.
Yeah, that's what made me bring that up because it's like it's coming back into the scene because they're destroying them across America and kind of leading to the idea that having a private flock of turkeys or chickens is bad or evil or possibly even illegal because of the fear of, disease spreading. So they're even passing, judgments where they can come into your backyard and kill your flock because of the fear of disease being spread.
Holy mackerel! Look who else has just popped in.
Hey,
Derek C.
hey,
Williams.
Yes, ma'am. Shout out and respect due to Black Spring with Autumn Intelligence done right. How you, young lady?
I am here, Derek C. Williams. I'm glad to have you guys both on here. What have you got for us?
Yeah, salute the uncool paranoia. I just been running across her YouTube channel, and she is sharp as a knife. Smart woman, ain't no doubt about that.
Thanks, Derek. I
Um,
appreciate that.
yes, ma'am. Um, and here, let me say just on Black Spring with Autumn's channel, let me apologize for not connecting with you earlier, but don't worry, that will be rectified in about 3 minutes after I get off this live. Um, really quick, Black Spring. If you scroll back up, you'll find a video or link that I put in your chat about maybe a few moments ago. And in late, I believe that was early 2020. No, late 2020. I did that video, but it was dealing with the Marburg virus. Everybody's talking about Ebola. Everybody's talking about bird flu. No, I would dare say you may want to look into the Marburg virus. This is one of the most deadliest viruses on earth, and I'm actually scared of it over Ebola, Zika, and stuff like that. Those are walks in the park compared to the Marburg virus. You have the Marburg virus, you have the Hanta virus, and you have Lassa. If you remember the movie with Cuba Gooding and Dustin Hoffman called Outbreak, they were dealing with Hanta virus, and it's a hemorrhagic virus. Uncool Paranoia touched on the fact that these are hemorrhagic viruses where you bleed out of every orifice, and I mean everywhere. You bleed out of your behind, you bleed out of your eyes, you bleed out of your ears, you bleed out of your mouth, your nose, stuff like that. All right. And they are actually playing with these now. They had a confirmed case of Marburg in the UK about 6 weeks ago. And nobody in mainstream media is talking about the Marburg virus. Everybody is talking about Ebola because that was the latest scare as of 2014, 2015, when you had that nurse in Texas that took sick from Ebola. But there is no cure. There is no shot for Marburg, to my understanding, and it has about an 80% fatality rate. So if you come down with Marburg virus, you are going to leave here. The people that, if you can get through, if you're strong enough, I assume if your immune system is strong enough, you may survive, but that's after you go through literal hell. And so I put that video in the stream for everyone to look at so you can get a quick primer on what the Marburg virus is. I'm in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania, and I'm about an hour and a half from Baltimore. Well, outside of Baltimore, in between Baltimore, in that metroplex, or that trust the I forgot how you pronounce it. But anyway, you have Washington, Baltimore, like that, all those cities where you have Fort Detrick, Maryland. Say for instance, they have a Marburg virus containment break there. We're upwind from Maryland. We would get some of that, but they actually have Hanta, Lassa, um, bird flu viruses, monkeypox. They play with all of these things right down the street from me in Fort Detrick, Maryland. It's a biosafety lab level 4. I think you have one here, you have one in St. Louis, Missouri, and a few other places in America. But just say for instance, it just Marburg just so happened to break out. Just so happened. Everybody in the Baltimore, Washington, everybody in the DMV, they out of here. Because again, I said you have an 80% fatality rate should you come down with the Marburg virus. But don't worry if they don't get you with that. If you listen to the works of Judy Mikovits, they're actually they gain of function mouse pox that has about a 94% fatality rate. And if you remember, I think I did a video last year before they took that channel about Eric Pianka down at the University of Texas in Austin. And he was saying that AIDS was not a good enough killer. We needed airborne Ebola. And his quote was, it's a 90% fatality rate if you get airborne Ebola. And he said for every for every one person that dies, he'll have to bury 9. That dude got a standing ovation at the Texas Science Academy. So you have people working on all this type of stuff to get you out of here. But don't never mind that. I just had did a video a few moments ago where they're talking about enhancing humans to where they can live for 160 years. You got brain implants. I can see in the dark. I can perhaps swim underwater like a fish with limited oxygen, stuff like that. And I got another one coming up in about a day or two. But they got all this stuff on the front burner, man. But I'm more concerned about the Marburg virus than Ebola, any other corona. Please go on with that. That's nothing. So I try not to be a long-winded dude. I just want to thank you for having me on Cool Paranoia. Like I said, I'm going to rectify that problem in a moment. Just thank you for having me on. And Black Spring, you take care of yourself here.
Well, I thank you so much, Derek C. Williams. I really appreciate you for coming on and sharing that, because that's all very, I'm not surprised, but at the same time, it's very, I would imagine that's unsettling that it's that close
Yes,
for
ma'am,
the
it is.
proximity.
Right.
I am straight scared. Here, just let me tell you for full disclosure. I take all my vitamins, I exercise, but that all best is off if they let loose a Marburg. I am scared out of my mind. I'm scared, and I can't tell you how many times I'd be on my way to work and I have to get it together. I'd be like straight crying. I'd be straight crying on the bus because just take care of yourself, Black Springwood Autumn, and thank you for having me on your platform. All right.
Thank you so much, Derek, and you do the same. Ladies and
Yes,
gentlemen,
ma'am.
Derek C.
Y'all take care.
Williams.
Salute.
Thanks for sharing, Derek.
Wow, that. Why is it? Why do we have so much evil on the planet? Why are there so many evil people?
Well, Satan is the god of this world. Emphasis on the lowercase g. So it's not too far fetched that these people would strive for whatever would be the most wicked at the time. So, I guess that's just what it is. As long as he is the god of this world, then he's just here to steal, kill, and destroy. Whether it is to steal your joy, steal your time, steal your soul, steal your health. That's just what it is. So just me personally, um I don't know, I just take a different approach when it comes to the buggies and the flu or whatever. I mean, I don't necessarily believe that viruses are alive in a physical sense, as in we could breathe on one another and give it to one another. I feel like our environmental situations causes dis-ease in your body. So, I don't necessarily fear it. It doesn't really bother me unless, I'm doing something to alter my environment to where my body can't be in a state of disease, try to alkalinize, try not to, eat too many processed foods or injecting any toxins straight into your veins, which poison you and put your body in a state of disease. So that kind of just gives me a state of just being calm, because the Bible tells us those people perish from the lack of knowledge, and fear is a false evidence appearing real. So I feel like they could just say anything. If they could just make a virus to wipe people out, they would have done so already. They don't have the power to do that, in my opinion. I feel like that's just as far as that goes. So they can just use the fear of spreading disease to just keep people under their thumb, because they'd took us out already. If disease could just wipe humans out, we wouldn't have made it this far, in my opinion.
Well, I mean, I do think that they are. I do think that they throw caution to the wind, but I can't. I don't know. It's unsettling that we have those labs, and I mean, it kind of goes back to the whole CV-19 and the research that goes behind this, the money that they put behind, throwing that caution to the wind. And it's our money. It's our money also.
That's the craziest part. They just, kind of slap us in the face with that. We're literally funding all of the wickedness without a say in it. Isn't that crazy?
Yeah, it's really it's super crazy, and I it's criminal. It's worse than criminal. It's wicked, it's dark, it's demonic. And I don't know what they're gonna come up with next. I don't. But I just think that we'll have to continue to do the things that we do, and then maybe a little bit more, like, maybe eat one less Twix or something that they're handing out at work. Or but
I feel that.
yeah, so I mean but I don't know. I do think that, with the processing of the food, with the amount of processed food, I don't trust, the meat to come. Can I say that uncool? The meat to come is going to be, I don't know. I just don't want synthetic meat.
I agree. I was recently dating a guy who was a vegan, and he would come over and cook sometimes. And we used to just talk about this all the time, like, because I kind of felt bad for him. So he would bring this pack of Beyond Beef over, or whatever it was, and I would just ask him to flip it over and look at the ingredient list, and I would have a pound of ground beef or ground turkey in my refrigerator, and I would have him look at the ingredient list. I'm like, look at this pack right here. This just says beef, okay, on my package. Look at your package. It's chemistry class. Bunch of chemicals that we can't even describe. So I was like, by the time you get finished reading that, I would have eaten this already because I know exactly what's in it. I'm like, you may as well eat this beef right here. Like, it makes no sense to me to eat a synthetic meat. It's straight chemistry class. None of it makes any sense. You can't pronounce one chemical that's in there. So I don't know. You just got to make stuff make sense for me, and that synthetic meat makes no sense to me. I just don't get the thrill.
No, but what is it? Did you like, what was it? The Impossible Burger? I saw YouTubers were going, as they say, they were going hard. They were sampling this, they were eating, the Incredible Burger, and the Impossible Burger. They were eating the Impossible Burger and sampling, and I just got this was Burger King was hosting the Impossible Burger. That the people that are willing to try these things and consume them in its entirety, not just take a couple of bites and walk away from the table, but they're going,
Ugh.
but they're
Yeah.
consuming the whole thing, and they look like they're really enjoying it.
Oh, for real. Yeah, it was some kind of beef. It was some kind of synthetic beef that he was using to make tacos with some uh meat crumbles or whatever it was. I can't even remember exactly what it was. It wasn't exactly the Impossible brand, but it was a synthetic beef that was in a white package, real fancy package with the green in front of it because green means healthy, according to, the mainstream. So if it's green on the package, it's healthy, according to them. So yeah, he would bring that stuff over here and some beans. I'm like, well, I'll eat the beans out of the can. We can make tacos with that, but I'm not eating that funny beef stuff. Like, no. So obviously we're no longer together. I just couldn't do it anymore. Like, some vegans have an attitude like they just God's gift to the world, and I just can't. The egos are too huge for me, and that ego was just too much.
Yeah, hold the beef, hold the frou package, the upscale beef in the package.
Right. Facts.
Hang on just one second. Hi, Awesome Alice. It's been a lifetime. It's been a lifetime. It's nice to see you in here. But yeah, you're right. I just think that we're having I'm starting to have, like, I'm starting to get like anxious about food supply and just what's available right now. Like, how do I know you didn't mix that in with the regular? You know what I mean? Did that chicken
Yeah.
go overboard with that other chicken? Is that a cell-based piece of fish in with that regular piece of fish? No, I'm not gonna risk it. So that's what I'm saying. I'm starting to get. How long has this been going on? Do you guys think that this is something that we've had this issue for a long time, or it's the real onset of something that's going to come up? This a real shortage and real. We're really going to be trying to make up our food supply with whatever with whatever's healthier. Like, or who's gone to the bugs yet? Who's eating the bugs?
Oh, oh, I know, countries overseas are already doing it. I mean, they've already been considered a delicacy, but that's just something that the West hasn't so much experienced. I guess they want, the West to get used to it because, those cow farts are bad for the environment. So you got to get rid of the animals. So, you know how that goes.
Yeah, and it's the funny. It's the ones that can. It's only the rich people that are saying that. They're making these kinds of pledges and pledging our allegiance to their agendas. So I don't know. I'll just keep working on prepping.
Yeah, you're right. It's all we can do. I think it's an excellent idea to prep to some degree, not to, there's a thin line between obsessing over it and then just making sure you're good to go. So it's an excellent idea to prep. And I feel kind of leery about the produce because on my backup YouTube channel, I got a video on there showing allegedly in China where they're painting apples red with whatever. I don't know what they're painting them with, but there's footage of them painting the apples red. Then I did
No.
yes. I was scrolling Facebook one day and saw a KFC commercial with the green chicken nugget box. It looks like it came down from heaven, like the fake meat is God's gift to mankind. They had it with angel wings, and it's like just the best thing in the world. So, got a quick video on that. It's ridiculous what they've done to the food. So it's like it's just Satanism, flipping everything 180 degrees, and making it, taking it away from real, making it too synthetic. So Satan wants everything to be rewritten in his image, even down to the food that we eat. So it's just
Wow.
sickening how it's all happening.
So, okay, so you said this was on your backup channel. You have a backup channel with this video on it.
Yeah. I post certain things like that, if like short, quick videos on my backup channel.
Okay. Well, I'm
So
gonna want to see that for sure because like I said, I don't even know. See, that's what I'm saying. It's like, oh my God, what do I do now? Like I got to get a vegetable source. Like all these sources we need, we need a place where we can grow things so we don't have to deal with this so much.
facts. It's going to be widespread soon. It'll be something. I think it's straight biblical. This is about to be something the West has never seen before, and everything is falling into place exactly how they're saying it, of course, because they're causing it. They know exactly how this is going to play out. I mean, the Bible predicts a 7-year famine, so if we're at that point, I mean, only time will tell. I mean, what can you do?
That's true. Well, here's the other thing is that, I'm just going to say, I think that for one, that, I think people should become more accustomed to like weaning yourself off of so much consumption of food, like during the day, because some people, they can't even go to the grocery store and not eat all the groceries uncool before the end of the day. They ate up all the groceries the same day they bought them. It's just that bad,
Yeah,
they have no discipline.
I know
They don't have
people
the
that do that
discipline.
too.
It's like,
Yeah,
you just went to the store and you ate all. I mean, especially in the summertime, I think kids typically eat, their growing bodies consume more food in the summertime. I remember that's the way it was when I was a kid. Like, we just can't wait to swing open that door in the refrigerator because of all those groceries, those new groceries we just got yesterday. So we're going
yes,
to.
yes. These little kids, my 4-year-old is like a machine. Like she's with me during the day when I work, and she's constantly coming back, to my desk like, "Mom, can I have some of this? Can I have some of that? Can I have some of this?" Yes, now that it's warming up, she is tearing through some stuff. Like, I need a separate bridge card just to feed my 4-year-old. Like, she is a machine. Like, going tearing through some stuff. I'm like, oh yeah, let's that's why fasting is important. It's important to get to a point where you know how to abstain from a meal, at some point in your life, like where you have experienced that. I feel like it's so important to have that skill.
Yeah, well, you're right. I mean, it's just I don't know, like self-control, and I think it's gonna make a difference because if you're used to eating, like the more like I think the more meals you consume, like the more your body just kind of expects that, expects that kind of, consumption every day. But I don't know. I'm here. What's the prediction? The forecast says what? The fall is when this is gonna this shortage is gonna hit everybody. Is that what they're saying? Um,
Exactly. And right before I noticed you were live, I got a notification saying that the CDC is predicting, of course they predict, right? They're predicting an extreme surge of, the boogeyman virus again in the fall. So whatever they got planned for this upcoming fall, I guess it's pretty big as far as on the food front, the supply chain, and the boogeyman viruses. And I'm quite sure the masks on the plane will be back. And, this Operation Whiplash, everything back into effect in the fall. School closings, everything, even lockdowns. I think it'll all be back in the fall.
yeah, yeah. Well, that's what I'm thinking. There's too much. They're too invested in this thing. Uncool. They're way invested in this thing, and they can't let it go now. It's just they got to give you the tension release. Oh, we got a little relief right now. Oh, we're gonna go back in, and that wears you. That'll wear you down. You know what I mean? That alone will wear you down. The back and forth.
Mhm. Yes, absolutely. So this is like the basic military tactics of creating the perfect mind control slave. You stress them out, you wear them down, and then you say, "Oh, I love you. I only do this to you because I care." Like a battered woman in a relationship. This is like domestic abuse on the population. Like we're just getting beaten, 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 and most people stick around hoping that things will change. Like a sick domestic abuse relationship. That's exactly what this looks like. And I agree with Alice in the chat. Alice was saying she feels like it's prophetic. Yeah, so I agree with you, Alice, on that. I feel like it is. So I do feel like they are trying to speed up the Bible, you know, and because Satan knows his time is short. So they're not trying to speed up prophecy however they can. And it just
Wow.
seems pretty clear. Yeah.
Well, and then it's like I mentioned this to you earlier today about what is it, Schwab and the UN were talking about speeding up the UN agenda 2030, and I'm like, how are you going to do that? I mean, how do you speed up something like that? You know,
I
how do
mean,
you do that?
at this point, anything is possible because they got multiple countries around the world in lockstep behaving the same exact way with the boogeyman virus. And yeah, you're right. They cannot be done with this thing because there's so much symbolism involved with the corona, with the crown. I feel like we're literally witnessing the crowning of the Antichrist. Then you got CERN powering back up. You got the particle accelerator doing its thing. So everything is all happening just like it did during the first wave. Everything's coming back. CERN is getting powered all the way back up. So they're ready to power the propaganda machine back on just strong enough to initiate another lockdown in the West. So they cannot let the corona go because of the fact of all the symbolism attached to it. Did you know there's even a star constellation called Coronae? And
No.
yeah, so there's all the symbolism attached to it. Like corona is very important, even though hardly anyone dies from it, but the fear and propaganda kills people, so that's good enough. They can just thrive off of that because again, you can't just breathe on someone and give them a virus. That's not how things work. So as long as they poison everybody good enough, make everybody eat the fake meat and the horrible water and continue the spraying, have people take the blood thinners, and they'll increase a state of dis-ease and make you sick and cue up the power ballot, cue up the propaganda machine, and just bring it all right back.
Wow. Yeah. I mean, like I said, I don't know how they're going to do exactly how they're going to do it, but I know they're going to. I do think I think they're invested in it in more ways than one. And I
I
don't know
agree.
what,
I don't know
but
exactly how they'll do it, but they'll bring it back somehow. I can't tell you, that from A to D how they'll do it, but we understand they'll do it. Whatever happens in China comes back here. And the way they're reacting to, a virus with a 0.3% death rate is amazing. Either they know something or they have figured out human psychology to the point where fear will make people do anything. So who knows?
Right on, right on. Yeah. So I mean, I think I haven't really been following Shanghai or so much, but I think that they are. Yeah, they usually kick things off first, and then that's that's to me, or either that's been the pattern I think so far. But we'll see. I really appreciate you guys for humoring me.
Absolutely. Yeah, I'll go ahead and cut it on out of here. Thank you so much, darling, for having me
Oh
on.
yeah, no,
Appreciate you.
you can stay right there. Like I said, I'm thinking I had maybe I don't know if I had anything else on this one, but the fuel on the cars and what was it we were talking about that, and of
Oh
course
yeah. My bad. My bad.
no
I think I got a
no
delay.
no, it's just that we were talking about this Chinese electric car that cost just over $5,000. So we'll see what that is. That coming here?
Hmm.
I don't know. People are gonna take to this like a duck to water, even with the gas prices the way that they are. I don't know. Don't know.
Right. The whole electric thing that makes no sense. I feel like that's an entire control grid, prison grid that they're creating because it's easier to control people with that, with that electricity. Uh, Full on electronic products because they could just EMP everything and then just bam, bring you to your knees. So, uh, make everybody go electric, but go green. It's still, make fossil fuels evil, but they still get to use it because they have to use fossil fuels to create electricity. So I don't know. It's just the hypocrisy behind it. It's just ridiculous. You take a few minutes at the pump to fill up with gasoline or several hours to charge your electric vehicle. It makes no sense at all to me. It's nuts.
Well, I agree. I agree. So I'm gonna just keep. I don't know. Like I search for cheap gas. I don't. Was it Gas Buddy? I mean, is that still a thing?
That's a good question.
I have no idea, but I'm gonna hang in there, and I guess we'll just keep updating, and yeah, because things are just like every week. It just seems like there's just so much going on, and I don't know. The summer is coming, and I'm like, is this really? This doesn't feel like it doesn't even feel like spring to me. Uncool, like
I know, isn't it
60 degrees.
strange?
Yeah, it was like 60 degrees here today, and the people had their coats on, and it was gloomy outside, straight edge clouds and stuff. Wait,
Yeah, it's
like, what is
weird.
going on? It's just, yeah,
Yeah,
I don't know. Yeah, but
it's 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 very weird. That's like I did that chat earlier on the patio, and I had to wait an hour or two because it was so freaking cold out on the patio, and I'm like, yo, it's May. Like, come on with this cold stuff. Like, I'm so over it.
I am, but I don't know. Like I said, for the summer, I don't know if it's gonna be extremely hot in like another month. Like in a month, will we all be on a more consistent path towards warmer weather, or is it just gonna keep this, the bipolar express going on?
The bipolar express, I can dig it. It's exactly what it feels like. It's just the weather feels as bipolar as the CDC. Recommendation today, no, remove recommendations tomorrow. It's just willy nilly, whatever they feel like saying at the time. And then you got the lemmings, you got the standard population. It's like, all right, throw your third, we'll do it. Whatever you say, support Ukraine.
Yeah, that's what I was saying that everywhere you go, you can't go anywhere without them asking you for donations. You go on an Airbnb, they want donations. You go on to, it just doesn't matter. Everywhere is dripping Ukraine. It's dripping.
Yeah, you got the yellow and the blue everywhere. You go to CVS and buy something, donation. It's everywhere.
The blue and yellow crane.
And I had never paid any attention to how much they've been programming us with that blue and yellow color coding system just everywhere, even down to the celebrities and their performances, how they're wearing the blue and yellow. Now that now we're all hyper focused on. I'm like, whoa, it's been here the whole time. They've just been drumming this thing up. I'm like, it's amazing how that works.
Yeah, it's just fatigue. It's like the original crisis. Like everything is a crisis right now, and I can't take it anymore.
Oh, Watchmen, that was definitely a Major Pain reference. Yes, my homie in the chat. He talking about a Major Pain reference. Yes, that was definitely Major Pain.
Wow. Let's see. We have a comment from Awesome Alice. She says, well, since they are for guns being sent to Ukraine, we should be straight for our 2A. LOL. Right. Isn't it the opposite of what they typically say? It's a bit much, I have to say. Yeah, but like I said, I appreciate you guys so much for coming on here, and yeah, I'm sure there's a ton. I mean, there's stories up the wazoo, everywhere, and
Everywhere.
I don't have the, I don't know. It's almost like we need to. I used to do. Occasionally, I'll do one of those crazy marathon streams where it's like 3 hours, 4 hours. Maybe we should plan one of those. Cool. Let's just go for everything we can get our hands on.
Oh, that would be so fun to kind of, line some stuff up, do some research, write a little, I like to take, have some notes ready to go. If I'll do something that long, it's
Yeah.
so fun though. It's so fun because we could be talking about this stuff for hours. There's so much. We can even talk about how the books are clearly written out for this stuff. I've even been, getting into doing some reading in addition to my Bible. I've never sat and read 1984, so I ordered a copy of that. All kind of books that I've just been reading, especially on how children learn through fun. A book that's just encouraging homeschooling and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Oh, I just dropped my phone. But yeah, books, detailing what they really do with, I don't want to say the vax word, what they really do with the childhood vax schedule, how that destroys your kids. Just been reading up how this stuff is just clearly written out for people to know. So we could be talking about this stuff for hours. It's so much.
I know. So yeah, we'll do what we can, because I know we don't all have a lot of time, and we'll do what we can do, and it'll be
Right.
We'll get something going. But like I said, I appreciate it. And at this hour, to even get people out here, it was funny. I was like, nobody's gonna come on to this stream. It'll be like old times, so I'm talking to myself.
I told you, I just woke up and was just scrolling YouTube and talking about Black Spring was live. I'm like, what's she doing? Let's hop up in here.
You're so funny. I mean, usually, as I say, back in the day when I first started this channel, I used to just put some music on, and I'll start talking if nobody comes to put the music on, and then we'll start going with the lines.
Absolutely. And it looks like Alice got a great question in the chat. She said, what's your thoughts on the leak on the Supreme Court?
I don't even know whether I think it's an insider job, or I just think it's just another sign of our institutions are so corrupt. I just don't even. I'm like, okay, what now? What now? I mean, to me, it's like, it's not going to be a summer of love like it was a couple of years ago. It's going to be a summer of mob. If you disagree with anybody, a summer of fascist. It's like summer of terror. It's just going to be. I don't know. I don't know what that's ultimately. It's almost like fodder or something. It's almost like the fodder. It's like they're going to use that to kind of kick off other things. I think whether it's authentic or not, I just think that it's going to be used for other things. I think they trot this out every cycle, to get people riled up, and back in the Matrix. And I'm weary of the Matrix. I don't know about.
I feel that.
I mean, I don't know. Do I think it's going to stop people from aborting kids, whether, legally, healthfully, safely? Do I think it's going to stop that outcome, the actual outcome of that? No, I don't think it's going to change. I don't think it's going to change anything. Um, but the leak, in terms of the leak, I think I don't know. I think it's part of the playbook. Somebody had to do something, or had to do what they were told somewhere. I don't know. Uh,
Well,
could be somebody that
me.
doesn't even have a real interest in, a real vested interest
Mhm.
in that outcome, but they just, they do what they do what they're told.
Absolutely. I mean, how I feel about it, I don't feel like that was a leak at all, per se. I feel like that was a tactical move to see how people react, because it's important to have the opposing sides arguing amongst themselves. It's important for them to have division. I mean, we got to think these people that are running the show are Luciferian or Satanists. And, violence, division, and all that stuff just continues to appease their God in some type of way. God, emphasis on the lowercase g. Um, so, of course, it's not just going to make abortions. I'm just going to mispronounce it purposely because that's a trigger word for YouTube. They're not going to just make abortions illegal across the board. Of course, it's giving power back to the states, but this may seem kind of out there. I know I mentioned this to you earlier backstage, but the crowd hasn't heard it. But me personally, I feel like this could be one of the ways for Satan to preserve his bloodline, because I feel like the Pokey Poke is genetically altering people from the very first injection. This is helping his bloodline remain sustained, because Satan wants, humans to be rewritten in his image instead of being rewritten in God's image. And the Pokey Poke changes you on a genetic level, which, rewrites you away from the image of God, our Heavenly Father, the Most High. So if they can no longer abort, that keeps his bloodline strong, because I don't know if you guys have noticed, the babies are different that are born from toxinated women. They're different. They can sit
Wow.
up already. They're born with black eyes. They're just different. They're genetically altered. They are chimeras by definition. That toxone is technology in a needle. The snake bite is technology. So if people can no longer abort, as easy as they were, then that will sustain the bloodline that's being born. I mean, that's just how I feel about it. It's just a theory. It's just a loose theory, but I mean, why not?
That's to me, it, I would think that kind of makes, they want to continue, they got to continue that line. And if they can preserve, they got to figure out how to preserve something. I think it's not a bad one.
Yeah,
not a bad one.
right. And for sure, it could be a distraction, because at the same time, you got the disinformation agency being produced right now. You got China openly talking about having military conflict with Taiwan, which people were fearing to the max. Like, once China begins to have the military downpour on Taiwan, then things can spiral out of control real quick, because they're over there building a monorail system that's going to attach multiple countries over in Asia. So you got all that going on. Then you got the fires in New Mexico. Then you got all the fertilizer shipments being stopped. All of this stuff that could be distracting us from. There's not just one thing we could be getting distracted from. But I agree with Alice when she say, yeah, could be a distraction, because there's a lot going on right now. It's enough to make your head spin if you're really paying attention. So that alleged leak, which I feel like it wasn't a leak at all, it's important to have division. You got the two Masonic pillars, the red and the blue. It's important for them to keep bashing, because there has to be so much division to the point where people are going to beg for a savior, and that's where the Antichrist comes in. So this is just adding to that chaos. They have to tear down the old in order to bring in the new, which isn't so new. There's nothing new under the sun as per the word of God. But yeah, just another one of those things that'll just have people argue and fight about it, because, arguing is important, is an important tenet in Luciferianism. So that's just how I feel about
it. Well, you know what? Like I said, I absolutely, I love hearing your perspective for sure. And I agree. I do agree that they need the chaos, and yeah, it's a must have for them, and they're going to keep it up. Um, yeah, some people think it's. I think they're stirring things up, I guess, for the Matrix that's coming in the fall, but we'll see. We'll see what happens. I don't know. I'm trying to stay focused. That's what I'm trying to do.
You're
Focused
right.
on,
Yeah.
yeah, like not getting into I didn't get into the slap heard around the world so much, and then what is this Chappelle thing, and now the Kevin Samuels, and they just kind of just keep this stuff going on. Like, I call it low hanging fruit. You look at
Absolutely.
them again you look at that low hanging fruit over there again. Not again. Anything. Anything but that.
Right. The slap heard around the world. There's just so much symbolism behind that. I was trying to do a video on it, but for the life of me, there was a clip I found in the Bee movie, the animated kids movie,
The B movie,
with Chris
okay.
Rock. Oh my goodness. Yes. There's been a bunch of slap symbolism surrounding Chris Rock throughout the years. And me and my daughter was watching the B movie because it was on Netflix for a while. It was supposed to have been removed from Netflix, but they kept it on there once they decided to air that whole slap thing. There's a scene in that movie where Chris Rock is actually a mosquito. He's just talking about slap, 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 and then he said something else on that scene. I can't remember for the life of me right now, but I wanted to, download that movie because, of course, it's kind of hard to find it. I guess they had all this planned out. So download that scene and show everybody. Of all creatures, they made him a mosquito. And Bill Gates just released all of the genetically modified mosquitoes. So I thought that was pretty interesting that they made him a mosquito.
Wow.
And then he was, at the end of the scene where they had the mosquito, he flew over to a blood donation truck. So, there's a big debate on whether toxinated people can donate blood or not. And there's a blood shortage and everything. So I just thought that scene was so prophetic because he just kept mentioning slap, 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 slap. It was Chris Rock as a mosquito. So I thought that was pretty interesting to share. But I work so much now and have my kid. It's hard for me to make the videos that I want to make. But I just thought that was very prophetic, and it's just nuts how the slap thing how that whole thing played out.
Well, see, now you're making me want to go. You were talking about earlier about you wanting to do videos on either music videos or things you had seen, very symbolic things, and I'm just thinking, oh
Yes.
my God, the movies, my gosh, if we just dissect, it's take apart the music video.
Yeah, that'll be a conversation that can last for hours on end if you want to go into movies. Oh my goodness, I can go forever about that because symbolism is in everything, everywhere. Once you just go ahead and accept it, you'll just start seeing it. I was watching Forrest Gump last night and was just looking like, whoa, what the heck? They like to pump that movie up like he's America's sweetheart, but the movie is filled with symbolism. And I never noticed that his jersey number was number 44 when he was in college playing football. 44 is so important to them. Yeah, because Elon Musk has bought Twitter for the 44 billion allegedly. And I was just looking like, whoa, there's so much symbolism in Forrest Gump. Is ridiculous. Tom Hanks he's up there. He's up there high in the ranks. So
Sure. Yeah, but yeah, oh my gosh, you're making me think about I'm starting to think about some other things, whether it be but the rap lyrics too. What was it? What is, I don't know, I think Snoop Dogg even, like, it's like, oh my gosh. Well, it's a rabbit hole. That's a huge rabbit hole of symbolism in there,
Definitely. Yeah, we can go for hours on that because Snoop Dogg has definitely been used to push this agenda. I mean, he literally made a video about selling his soul. Asking God, like, can you save me? Like, dear God, I wonder can you save me? So that stuff can just go on. That's why I wanted to do that live stream. I wanted to do it live. Yeah, just talking about the videos because I gotta show people what I found in the Avril Lavigne Skater Boy video. I gotta show people this. I don't want to say exactly what it is because
Don't
I
do
want to show
it.
people this. It bugged
Save
me
it.
even back when I was in middle school. Before I even knew what symbolism was, this scene in that video always scared me. Now that I'm older, I went back and watched it the other day. So here's a tip. Watch music videos on mute. Just hit mute, ignore the music. You'll notice the videos has nothing to do with the songs, and it'll just blow your mind.
Well, I will certainly do it. Yeah, I mean, because I heard something today, like I don't know what the say for instance. I mean, I could go on this on some kind of spiritual level, but I won't do it. But it's like some of the questions that Snoop Dogg would ask in his, he would say like, "How long will I live?" Like it's like he's having these dialogues with like
Eternal life and forever.
Yes.
Yeah.
What is going? Is that going to rank on your video? Are you going to please do what I'm?
Yes, why not? Because that's what the elite are trying to do. They're trying to find the counterfeit eternal life. So that's why they're gene editing and doing the metaverse thing because the Bible clearly tells us that they're going to seek death and not going to be able to find it because they don't want to die. So these fallen angels know they're damned to hell. So what all that that leads in the whole NASA thing. That's why they shoot rockets up there trying to get back to the throne room because they can't. They're damned to hell. So at least they can corrupt as many people down here as they can to take the hell with them. And in the meantime, try to break back through the firmament to get back. So even there's songs made about this. The Bruno Mars. I can't think of the name of it right now. That you make me feel like I've been locked out of heaven.
Oh wow!
So long. Yes, it's like a ballad about fallen angels being locked out. When you listen to the lyrics, he's trying to, it's like an ode to the fallen angels trying to get back into heaven.
Well, you know what, and don't laugh. I was thinking, was that his parallel on something? I just died in your arms.
Oh, exactly.
Oh gosh.
Facts.
Oh my God. Yeah, that is something else. Yeah, I was wondering what was he talking about with that. I was just thinking,
Right.
that's ethereal? That's more ethereal. That's not, a woman cannot make you feel like you've been locked out of your home, can she?
Right. Like why would a woman make you feel that way? That's horrible. That's horrible. And then they'll openly sing about not wanting to go to heaven. There's this song that Michael Jackson has on the Invincible album, Invincible, because they're seeking eternal life. It's called Heaven Can Wait. It's like, I tell the angels no, I don't want to leave my baby alone. So he's like, if the angels come for me, I'll just stay here. I'd rather not go. If the angels come for me, heaven can wait. And I was just looking at those lyrics like, that is awful. Why would anybody, just want to stay here forever? I'm like, that's some fallen angel stuff all
But
day.
you know what? And that's the kind of thing that some people, I heard a person say once, if some people could go, to heaven, they'd be asking, oh, can I just have one more day down here?
Exactly. Like they want to live forever. They're afraid of their fate. Period.
One more day.
And they've been here for so long that, that's what time travel is. Since the fallen ones have been here since the beginning, they've witnessed creation. That's how they know all of the technology. And just side note, a reference, abortion is a technology taught to mankind from fallen angels. Thus says the book of Enoch. I think it's in like chapter 69. Explains how fallen angels taught, people, taught man how to destroy the seed before it's born. So that's from fallen angels. So it's just crazy how it all ties into each other.
Wow. And there's one thing I wanted to go over. I saw a, what is it? Jade, I don't know, which one is the daughter, Will and Jada's kids? She's doing an alien goddess perfume now. Like they've got her, she looks absolutely like, and I say alien goddess. When you put those two things together,
here we go.
It's like, what
Here we go.
exactly? And she does look a little bit, you know, she looks a little extraterrestrial. Just to, maybe it's a photo. Blame it on the Photoshop. We're gonna blame it on the Photoshop. But she did
Oh,
look a little strange in that in the advertisement. But I'm just thinking, aren't these things like diabolically or diametrically opposed? I mean, what are you doing? What are you guys doing with all these alien references? What are you
yeah.
doing?
Alien, aka fallen angels. I do feel like they're using, well, they know the technology. They know about spirit transference and all of that because they envy us because we're made in the image of God. And, now that they know they're here, they want to be flesh. So they know how to, move from person to person. I mean, I think that's the real definition of time travel since they've been here since the beginning and they can move from body to body, generation through generation. I feel like that's what time travel really is, not in the sense as to what Hollywood shows, like you get into a machine, you type the year in and you go. I feel like it's the knowledge that the fallen ones have had since the beginning, since they can move from person to person, from generation to generation. I feel like that's what time travel is. And that's why celebrities get the stars on the Walk of Fame because those are the fallen stars. The Bible says how a third of the stars was swiped out of heaven with his tail. I feel like that's what the stars are. And since they've been here for so long, I kind of don't remember how I spun off into that, but yeah.
Yeah, well, you're always, yeah, you're blazing when you come on, seriously, and I really appreciate it. And like I appreciated you having me on earlier today. It was fun. So everybody that's not familiar with uncool paranoia, you need to get over there. I don't know, as they say, I don't know what you're doing if you haven't been over there. If you haven't been over there.
Thanks, Otto. I appreciate that.
Yeah, because I'm telling you, we can like I think we'll have some fun streams to come up just on some of this stuff. Like, yeah. Like what am I looking at?
For
What am I
sure.
looking
I feel like that goes back to like the classic YouTube stuff where you're pointing out the symbolism because it's like I feel like we've gotten so far from that people are so far removed and don't really, they don't really remember the simplicity of how all this stuff works. And then sometimes I just kind of get tired of talking about the boogeyman virus. There's so much stuff to talk about that we could just
I
go on about.
know.
Yeah.
That's one of the most boring. It's so boring, the CD19. It's
Yeah,
a
because it's
boring
not going
conversation.
anywhere. It's not going anywhere. And they love the number 19, just like the 19 food processing plants were destroyed. I feel like that was supernatural with the number 19 specifically. So, yeah, that could just go on forever.
For sure. Well, uncool. If you will put your link in the stream, or some of the mods, do you have any of my stripes out there that can put uncool Paranoia's link into the stream? Because it's one thing that they have done. They have restored the button in which you just click on the person's name and it says, "Oh, go to the channel." Oops, sorry. But yeah, you can just
Yeah, I
go
can I can
directly
drop
to
it
the
in there.
channel. Yeah, because people used to do grow streams and all that stuff because people were able to to dub or sub. I don't say sub if I want to. You get able to go sub to somebody like right away. So if you wanted to do it, but it's back now. So you guys should get to know each other around here. And I'll be doing more streams. I used to have the most fun on the Moonlight streams because we just talked about whatever. It didn't even matter. We start out one place and we end up somewhere.
Right. I like the night streams. I was running a show for a while called Uncool at Night where we just talk about stuff outside of the C19. But since I've been working so much, I haven't had much time to do those lately. So hopefully I'll get back to a point where I can do those streams. But it's like the vibe of the nighttime is different. You got a different crew in the chat at night. You got the people who are just up at work. Yeah, and people that just want to talk about whatever. So the night streams are so fun because you could just spin off into anything.
Yeah, well, you're right, and you get like I think the energy. You're right; it's a different kind of energy after hours, and people that actually want to be around or are coming around or voyeurs.
Exactly. Facts. So Alice said
Yeah.
she saw a flat earther versus globe earther debate. I bet that was good.
Oh my God, I can't believe Awesome Alice is in the house. I've been catching some of her videos, and yeah, I remember her coming on quite a bit. Like back in not back too far in the day, but we had some good streams on here. But yeah, I look forward to doing more, and yeah, summer's coming, so why not? Let's get the prepper. Let's get the preppers. Talk about the prepping, the aliens, the sensual seductions from Snoop Dogg.
Sensual seduction.
Oh my God. He has been used more than I don't know. He's
And
like,
more than a little bit. And I was just trying to figure out the angle why they had him in bed with Martha Stewart. Like, what was that all about?
oh
Like,
my
come on
God,
now.
really? That is so gross.
Right. So Awesome makes videos. Awesome Alice makes videos. And all right,
Yeah.
Matt, I got you. I'm gonna go ahead and sub. If y'all drop the links in the chat, I'll go ahead and sub too. I appreciate y'all subbing.
Yeah, do your sub thing. Get subbed around here, wherever, whatever you do, and check your subscription because they keep. I had to go back and subscribe to resubscribe to Awesome Alice because they had taken me off. They had taken me off of
Yeah,
the page.
girl, they keep taking my subs. I made it to 545 and now I'm back down to 521. YouTube just keeps just taking them away. Now it's like, why do I even put so much work into this? Because it doesn't matter. Either they'll shadow ban you or just take your subs away. So it's sometimes I just feel discouraged. Like, what's the point? Like, doesn't even
Well,
matter
and see,
anymore.
that's the reason that I quit doing. I quit. I mean, I started making videos, and I enjoyed it. And then, like every now and then, like, oh, I thought that video wasn't too bad. It wasn't flawless, but it was pretty good. For my comfort level, it was good for me. But they shadow banned so much stuff that I'm like, okay, I can't put that. I don't have that kind of time to put it out there, and then it just gets shadow banned. You know, I don't. I mean, yeah. So yeah, but like I said, I appreciate your work, and we have like a lot of great content creators in the chat, and YouTube is a different landscape than it used to be. I really came
It
in, I
really
think,
is.
yeah, I came in at a time, I think, in which, they were all about shadow banning and silencing people, but I think it's going to get, do you think it's going to get any worse? Uncool, do you think, with the truth ministries and what I mean, do you think they're going to suppress more on YouTube, or you think it'll be limited to Twitter? Like, do you think they'll keep the bigger grips on Twitter, or do you think?
Well, you just got the Ministry of Truth just got founded. Shout out to 1984 George Orwell. So I feel like it's only going to get worse. It's not going to get any easier to spread this truth, especially if you're mentioning that feared name of Jesus Christ. You know how they can't stand that. And I literally feel like Jesus Christ is censored in YouTube live streams, certain YouTube live streams, because I'll drop a scripture mentions Jesus Christ's name and people won't see it. So, but yeah, to answer your question though, I feel like it'll only get worse. Twitter is going to be used to program the AI since Elon got the right thinking, the right wing thinking they're free over there and they're going to go over there and spill their guts and the AI is just going to be sucking it all up and data mining. So I feel like it's only going to get worse from here, especially with the formation of the Ministry of Truth now, the disinformation agency or whatever you call it. So, yeah, I mean, the Bible tells us all this is going to get worse anyway. So, when it comes to censorship, in my brain, I like to think of it as how the Bible is written in parables. The Bible is just not written in plain language. It's a mystery to it. So, the ideas just aren't spoken straight out. So, I kind of feel like the Bible is written in such a way to fly under the radar from the wicked ones. So, I kind of feel like that's how it comes down to us, how we have to speak in certain code, because that's exactly how the Bible is written. There's nothing new under the sun. So I feel like it'll only wax worse and worse.
Wow. Well, I think you're here again. You're a lady of wisdom and infinite, discernment.
I appreciate that. I mean, all glory to Christ and the Holy Spirit. You know, that's just where that comes from. No, no credit to me at all. But that's just praise Jesus for His sacrifice and mercy, and thank goodness for the realization and accepting Him as my Lord and Savior. And that's just the Holy Spirit all day. Period.
Amen. I'm telling you, because like you guys are like, I'm like, yeah, I need the truthers in my life. I need the gospel speakers in my life because, that's, that's to me, that's where it's at. That's where it is. That's where it's at. Everything else is, you know, controlled by
Facts.
them. It's all. This is their world. This is their system. Is what I do. It's not and it's not equal. It's not equal to
Absolutely.
no.
Absolutely. I
So
mean,
yeah.
we were never meant to be treated fairly in this world. We were never meant to be a part of the world. We are meant to be set apart. So things are just naturally going to be harder for us if we choose the side of righteousness. If we choose that side, then this is just what comes along with it. So we just roll with the punches. We just endure to the end, and that's it. That's all we can do.
You're right. You're right. So what I'm going to do is, guys, I'm going to wrap us up, and I'm just going to say a quick hello to everybody. Say salute to everybody in the stream that came in on this 11th hour, and I was blessed to have Uncool Paranoia up here and Derek C. Williams, and then we had Awesome Alice is back in the house. Thank you, Awesome Alice, for coming back. We appreciate it. And I'm just going to say really quickly, good night, good morning to Matt Militant, TMK Media, Risen Ability, Joy Chit Chat, the official urban therapist. Let's see. Derek C. Williams again, Positively Penny, Awesome Alice, thank you so much. Cassie QY Obosk. And who else did I have? Let me make sure I'm missing anybody. Anonymity, and then Anonymity, I think it was here. And then the Watchman, thank you so much for coming in. I appreciate it. And Anarchy Television was here. And Joseph Francis Burton had to sign off. Thank you so much, Joseph, for coming in and for supporting us and all. And I think that kind of sums it up. But we're going to be coming. I mean, I'm going to be trying to partner up with Uncool Paranoia because she blazes. She'll burn you.
You too, girl. You inspire me, especially with that Nigeria story. You inspire me to do all that research on what's going on over in Africa. So, girl, don't sell yourself short. Period.
Oh my gosh. Also, Latina Pro Constitution. Thank you so much for coming in. So I'm trying to, I guess we have to lift each other up, as they say, because in these times we're getting torn down and whatever from all directions. So with that said, I'm going to say good night to everyone. And Uncool, if you want to stay back for a second, I'll be available. I'll be available. All right, guys,
All right.
have a great rest of your Sunday morning / Sunday night if you're on the West Coast. Bye-bye.
Later, everybody.